What's up, y'all? It's Dr. Paul and friends, Liberty Hill Comics. You are here for episode 74 of the comic book Conservation live show. And I'm excited. I'm a little bit low energy, but I think we're going to overcome that. And we have some new sound effects.
Sound effects.
So we're going to have fun. I hope y'all are ready for fun. How have you guys been? Thank you for being here. It's great to see y'all. We haven't talked this week like we normally do. What's been happening?
For me, I've just been working. I'm here in lovely Singapore.
Oh,
it's about it's 8:30 in the morning here, and got up, had breakfast, and joining you guys.
Oh,
yeah, but it's pretty quiet. I've been trying to crank out some videos. I got some more in the hopper here. I'll try to work on them.
Nice.
Get those out to you.
Checking out some content, yeah. Now, the only thing I know about Singapore is you shouldn't go while you're there and like put graffiti on anything.
No, don't graffiti.
Advised against.
Oh no, it's illegal, and chewing gum is illegal here. You can't even possess it. It's a
possession.
It's a possession. It's a prison offense. And then spitting, can't spit.
Yeah.
None of that. And if you get drug charges, they hang you.
Wow.
They hung 3 Australian. Yeah, they hung 3 Australian guys. So for heroin, and yep, they just hung them.
Seems righteous.
Yeah, but it's very clean. It's very clean here.
Well, no spitting. The Haktua girls, not her favorite country.
Oh no.
Yeah, I don't think she would do well here. No.
No spitting, no chewing gum. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Well, that seems like fun.
Yeah, but it's pretty. So a little later today, I'm gonna go out and cruise around and check out some of the Singapore sites. I'm actually here to. They ran the F1 race in Singapore yesterday.
Yeah.
So I am here to pick up all the cars. So I'm going to fly the cars to Korea day after tomorrow, and somebody else will take them on to the next race, which I believe is in the U.S. Then it continues to Mexico, then on to Brazil. Then sometime ends up in Dubai. So I'm here to pick up race cars.
Yeah. Well,
That's
actually is the coolest cargo that I've heard about that you've told us about.
Yeah.
There may be
It's pretty impressive how they pack them in the airplane too. They actually stack them.
Yeah. They go into cars, they basically get crated up, right?
Yeah, it's like Hot Wheels. They don't crate them. They're open. They're just a special platform. They mount one on top of the other, and they put them in the airplane, and we just fill the airplane as many as we can.
So they're mixing and matching all the different teams' cars.
Yeah.
Because one of the things they're super secretive about, I mean, like, they freak out if somebody gets to photograph the bottom of one of their cars because they crashed it and it rolled upside down, right? They're like,
oh yeah,
the season's over. Our tech is just forget about it. Everybody's got our tech now.
Oh yeah.
So how can they pack all the same teams together without other teams being able to see, or is it like a third party does it?
Well, we are the third party. They basically stack them all together, and I'll have 2 basically handlers on board the airplane as passengers.
Sure. Yeah.
They're basically load masters.
Yeah.
And so they basically accompany the cars, and all we do is move them. I'll get off the airplane in Korea. Another crew will get on the airplane. I believe they'll take them up to probably Anchorage or straight to Los Angeles.
Yeah. Wow. If you're just joining us, welcome. This is F1 Logistics. It's a new channel we just started.
Show.
We've got insider Captain Larry, who's telling us all about it. Love it.
Yeah.
Phil, what about you, man? I'm guessing not quite as exciting. I don't know, but then again, maybe it is as exciting. Maybe you got
I've
Superman 1 on the table. I don't know.
Well, Gosh, my jaded faces. Yeah, no, I have some cool. I got a flash one open over there. Shout out to so
more first appearances than Superman 1.
That said, no, I've had an unusually busy social life actually since like last week. That's just continued. So I went to the one of the Red Sox Yankees games, which was very always a fun, contentious event to be at, especially when I'm from Boston, but not really a sports fan. So I could play both sides and root for the Yankees and the Red Sox, which is very frowned upon. But I'm okay.
Yeah, that's a good way to get a beer thrown at you. I feel.
No, I just try to be as impartial as I can. That said, Drowning in Comics is always coming to you live from New York City. Phantom Restoration on Instagram or that website there, and happy to be here on this beautiful Sunday night talking comics with you fine gentlemen. Same. And looking forward to seeing the segment on the book that I cannot even remember what the picture was. So it's a surprise. That means it's exciting. Just like you guys don't know the book I'm going to show later. So, the audience doesn't. You guys do.
It's brand new. And I was just at a sporting event. I just actually got back from Houston, where my daughter attends Rice and actually is a cheerleader. And we went to a football game last night.
Cool.
They played Florida Atlantic, whose mascot is apparently an owl. So there was a guaranteed Owls win. Unfortunately, it wasn't the Owls of Rice, but it was still fun. Well, we've got a lot of folks already in the chat. Let's say some hellos. We've got, before we get started, we have to thank our sponsors of this episode, Collecting Chaos and Sales Boy Comics. If you have not yet checked out their channel, go check out their channel. Big applause to our sponsors. Thank you for sponsoring this episode. If you're watching it live and you're watching it ad-free, it's thanks to those two gentlemen. So check them out. Really appreciate y'all. Morris Devereaux's here. The Professor, Peter Alachi's here. Check out his channel, Experiments in Conservation. Collecting Chaos is here. Thank you again for your sponsorship. AG is here. Hello, AG. Jeff Goodsel's here. Salesboy Comics, the aforementioned sponsor. Thank you for joining us. As always, keep it moist. New Row Comics. Red Hood Comic. What's up, mama? Kevin Kosnik is here. This is Calvin and Logan. Say hello, Uncle Paulie. Guess who that is? That's my nephews. Hey, you know what? Nephews. Round of applause. They figured out how to use the YouTube.
Oh boy.
Hopefully there's some kind of parental controls. I don't know. Archivist Jason Adrift is here. Hello. Is it tomorrow already in Singapore? I'll let you answer that.
It is. It is already tomorrow. I am a time traveler as well.
Living in the future.
The Professor wants to know how you manage your sleep schedule. I'm guessing it's drugs, but I'll let you.
I sleep when I'm tired and I eat when I'm hungry. And that's basically the summary of it. I only sleep in 4-hour blocks.
Yeah.
That is the downside of it, because your body it does not adjust to all the time changes.
Yeah. Salesboy, thanks for the $2 super chat. Appreciate you. We got a sponsor already for next episode. Yeah. You plucked my last nervous here. Rom Space Knight, what's up, buddy? How is everybody? Wishing everybody a happy Sunday. I am not gonna, I got nephews on, and my mom's watching. Morris, come on.
Oh, you better watch your language.
You plucked my last nerve. It's got a super chat as well. Says Dylan was playing with a comic book the other day and got it wet. I swear. I think I should pre-read these before I read them out loud. But nevertheless, here we are. Thanks, guys. And burrowing owls. Burrowing owls is something I'm referring to one of my other hobbies, which is bird watching. There were some burrowing owls this week spotted down in Galveston. Everybody's all a Twitter, in case you guys don't know about that. Aaron Conyers is here. Welcome. Lenny Cern is here from your channel. Larry, welcome.
All right.
And who else? It looks like we got at least all the folks that are shouting out. We got a shout out back at them. Welcome, everybody. Excited for the show. Excited to get started. Man, what a book we've got to talk about today. Fantastic Four #1. I think this is actually going to be a very interesting little saga about this book. So maybe not what we normally have for our A block. So why do we care? Fantastic Four #1, created by Stan Lee and Jack Kirby, 1961, in response to a request, maybe demand, from Martin Goodman, who is Stan Lee's wife's cousin. Stan Lee, the ultimate Nepo baby, working over there at Atlas Comics before it was called Marvel. And they're not doing that well. Martin goes golfing with one of the execs from National, which is DC Comics, of course. And the executive tells him, you know, that Brave and the Bold 28, they made some kind of team. It's selling like hotcakes. And, you know, superheroes are back. They got the Silver Age rolling. Julius Schwartz is just bringing everybody back with a new sci-fi origin story. And Martin Goodman races off the 18th hole, races home from the links, calls up his cousin, says, get your worthless husband on the phone, and yells at him and says, comic books are all superheroes now. Bring all the superheroes back. What do you got? So Stan calls up his #1 creator, Jack Kirby, and says, we're doing superheroes again. Stan was about to quit the game, according to his autobiography, and his wife, Joni, convinced him, what have you got to lose? Do one more book the way you want to do it. And if it works out, great. If it doesn't work out, you're going to quit anyway. So Stan and Jack sit down, sharpen the pencil, and they say, we're going to do a completely different series. So FF #1 is the results. It's the first appearance of the Fantastic Four and the Mole Man. And it's got a whole bunch of departures. Reed, Sue, Ben, and Johnny have, firstly, no costumes. They have no secret identities. They're a family, or more or less. They bicker, and they're dysfunctional, and they have feet of clay. They're jealous of one another, all kinds of things that never happened in the comic books, not at least from the protagonists. And it was a huge hit, it turns out. And Stan kind of never looked back. So thanks to all of that series of events, we have the Marvel Age, and we have the Avengers franchise we have today in the MCU. So crazy enough, this particular book, they were doing a bunch of departures from the norm, but one that they kept, at least initially, was to set the book in a fictional city, like pretty much all the DC books were. Fantastic Four #1, to many people's surprise, is actually set in Central City, California. It's not until somebody at me, which episode, where they moved to New York City, and we start to see the Manhattan skyline. Most of this book takes place on Monster Island, if I'm not mistaken. As I mentioned, this book kicks off the Marvel Age. And again, this was November. I'm using cover dates here, not on sale dates. November 1961. They actually pumped quite a few of copies of this book out. 2,106 in the CGC census when I pulled these data. These may not be up to the exact minute. Tales to Astonish 27, January of 62, is not really a superhero book. It's more of a sci-fi tale. They're going to retcon it later into a superhero book when they reveal that Hank Pym has just been operating as a costume superhero known as the Ant-Man. It's kind of I don't know if it's the first retcon, but it's a retcon anyway. CG population on this is the rarest of the Marvel Age books, only 1,028. Not sure where Groot's first appearance is, and that's another one that's kind of been retconned into the Marvel Age, and that may have a lower census count, so don't at me if that's the case, but I'm talking about the major Silver Age heroes anyway. He's really was not a thing until much, much later. The Incredible Hulk #1 followed after that in May of 62. You can see the ever-increasing CGC counts as now Marvel Comics is starting to really feel their oats and become more of a commercial success. They're starting to compete with DC, and very soon will actually dominate DC at the spinner racks. But in May of 62, Hulk 1 has a CGC census of a little over 1,500. Then Amazing Fantasy 15, a Grail, I think, by any measure of the word, with a CGC census count of 2,600. We talk about Grails from time to time and what might constitute one. For me, all these books are at that level, even though there are census counts on these that are, 10, 20 times, 50 times maybe greater than that of some of the Golden Age books that we hunt from time to time. And I'll wrap the rest of the Marvel Age up quickly. Journey into Mystery 83 in August of 62. March of 63, you get Tales of Suspense number 39. Those have CGC census of around 2,000 each, give or take a few hundred. Strange Tales is in that same ballpark. Strange Tales number 110. First appearance of Doctor Strange and not Paste Pot Pete, but prominently featured on the cover. No Doctor Strange, but Paste Pot Pete. And then
Trapster.
later known as the Trapster. It's not until I think John Byrne is writing the book in Fantastic Four, somewhere in the 200s, that they remind the Trapster and that his name was Paste Pot Pete, and they keep calling him Pete as a way to annoy him.
Yeah, I don't think the Paste Pot translated to the panels and the very well, but anyway.
Big step up with Avengers #1 in September of 63 with the CGC count well over 4 grand, and then wrapping up the Silver Age for Marvel. The Marvel Age, I should say, major first appearances. X-Men 1, September of 63, with nearly 5,000 in the census in Universal. And Daredevil 1 in April of 64, one of my favorites, just because it's a collaboration with Bill Everett, and I think it's really well done. In April of 64 with the CGC census count in Universal, 5,500. Any favorites there? Anything anyone wants to say about the Marvel Age? Any Grails that folks want to talk about?
Yeah, I had the one with Paste Pot Pete in my hands. I did a repair on it and I sold it. I wish I kept it, actually.
Yeah.
So
it's a nice book. It's the only one of the major first appearances here for the Marvel Age that doesn't have our first appearance on the cover.
The page with Strange on it too is so badass. It really is. If you get a copy and you get to flip through and see it, it's a cool page.
No, it's a great book. I own that one. I have Tales to Astonish 27. I don't have the other 3 of these really big boys here. And I have Strange Tales 110. I have Avengers 1. And I have Daredevil 1. I don't have X-Men 1. But I know at least one person in the live stream has it.
I've owned four TOS 39s.
Yeah.
And I no longer own a copy. That's my I'll get another one at some point. But
so funny enough, 1 week ago right now, during our show, a TOS 39.70 had an ending on eBay. Mm-hmm. And fair market value for that book is like 21 grand. And I was watching it in the background and I was just like, well, if it's like if it's under 15 when the hammer's about to drop, I'll throw a bid in, just because the fair market value is 21,000, right? Yeah. I don't think I'm going to get hurt on that sale. It hammered at like 15.7.
Oh,
like a ridiculously low price for that book. Like
that weird grade,
$5,000 under fair market value, and
not
and
high enough to be high grade, and too nice for the people that have
exactly 1 week ago, within minutes of right now.
That's it. Nice.
Yeah, but I've never owned that book.
This slide here, I think is a very it's probably the biggest takeaway, or should be one of the biggest takeaway for a lot of people, because I remember when the COVID spike happened on books and Daredevil 1 jumped up a lot, and I love
oh my god, yeah,
it's great. But I think if a lot of people could see these numbers, they would at least think differently about it, because that's a substantial jump. And if you're looking at the earlier ones here that have 1,000 and 2,000, you're like, okay, 2,000, but 5,500, that's a lot. That's quite a lot. That means it's plentiful, and it's cool, because if you like Daredevil, it should always stay lower than the other ones. But
if you want one, you can find one.
Yeah,
you don't have to wait for it.
Yeah. Same with X-Men 1, really, in a way. There's a lot of them for sale at any given moment. Truthfully, there's a lot of all of these books for sale at any given moment. That said, demand,
entry-level copies, really.
Demand far outstrips supply. So these are big boy and girl books, right? But yeah, I like the Tales to Astonish 27 because of the super low count, and that was the second of these books that I purchased after Avengers 1, because Avengers 1 was my sort of grail as a child, and I finished my Avengers run, my volume 1 Avengers 1 a long time ago. Anyway, I don't know if anybody in the chat wants to talk about it. Collecting Chaos says Daredevil was the best in my opinion. Actually, Jim has a comment here. I want to probe this. I know he has deep knowledge. He says they don't overtake DC until 72. But isn't it true that that's only the case because DC controlled their distribution and would not literally allow them to sell more comics? Weren't they actually eating their lunch in terms of popularity, and they were selling out?
They were they were limited to the amount that they could actually produce.
Yeah, only 8 books at a time, right?
Yeah,
and that's why Tales
at a time,
for example, is a split book. That's why Strange Tales becomes a split book, as does Tales to Astonish. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there's a different way to look at that. But I think it's technically true that they don't have greater overall sales than DC until after 72. But I think they were dominating the spinner rack well before that. I think in the late 60s, they were dominating. Here it is. Till 68. He's on the ball. He always is.
Yep.
Look, we got super knowledge in our
yeah, we got some smart guys there.
We always have super knowledge. Drop more of it. Mid 71, DC went to 15 to 25 cents in 52 pages. How'd that work out for them? All right, let's move on. I'll highlight this one. One person took me up on which one's your Grail. My brother. All right. So FF1, as I mentioned, little under 2,200 Universal, well over $3,000 all grades. Don't get too excited. Almost 200 of them are signature. Stan Lee signed a lot of these books. I mean, that's close to 10% of the Universal population. If you think about it that way, it's kind of wild. Nearly 1 in 10 of the Universal books are signed by Stan Lee. 746 restored, which is wild. Just 19 we have a new category now from Go Collect where they have signed, but they're JSA rather than observed under the signature series by CGC. So actually, I guess we can add that 19 to the 194 and get to a full 10% of these books are signed by Stan Lee. I assume it's almost all Stan Lee, but there may be some other signatures in there. We're going to talk about a conserved book today, though. The median grade here is a lowly 3.5, and as I said, lots of restored copies. This book was not made to last, right? This paper's rough, and there were a lot of them that were doctored up at one point in the past, one way or the other. Total market cap, according to Go Collect, at the 6.0, which, by the way, is top 12% of the census, over 1.6 million at current market values. Huge variance on this book. Just in the last 12 months, you have a low sale of 24 grand, a high sale of 40 grand, the 1 year average at just under 29,000. Go Collect calculates with their algorithm the fair market value at 27,000. I will say the last sale was around 25,000, as was the 90 days average. That said, I didn't see any real reason, given that at least one copy did sell for 40 grand in the last 12 months. I didn't see any real reason to deviate from their algorithm here. So I used the 27,000 as fair market value.
Yeah, and you look at that graph, you can spot, what we're talking about, COVID prices. And
oh yeah,
we just we throw that out and say COVID prices. We're talking 2022.
Yeah,
and that's where everything
or late 21,
2022. But that is when everything spiked.
Thanks for mentioning that, Larry. High water mark on this book in this grade, Universal, $63,000.
Yeah,
I think that may be inflation adjusted, so it may be just a tad under that. I'm not 100% sure on this view from Go Collect. Some of the time they will inflation adjust their values, but nevertheless,
still crazy.
A lot of money. Yeah. You would have to be Richie Rich to buy it. Yeah. Here's the cert for this book. So it was graded and then sent directly to the eBay auction site. So this was graded. Look at the grade date, September 19th, 2025. And this book hammered on September 30th, I believe.
Did you give that
11 days?
As some foreshadowing. Was that some foreshadowing, Dr. Paul?
11 days after it was graded, it was hammered sold, which is just wild to me that this had to be a rush job at CGC to get it back that quickly and auctioned. By the way, the seller had the book in hand. They didn't use the CGC images for the auction site. So this was a low dollar starting auction, and it was not a fixed price. This was a throw it out there and see what happens, folks. Conservation includes cover reinforced, cover cleaned. This one comes back as a 6.0 off-white to white with greater notes of spine stress lines on the cover, light water stain back cover, paper lift right center of front cover, small crease right bottom of front cover. We'll get a closer look at some of those flaws in just a moment. I just want to check and say welcome, Gorilla Monkey 3K. And oh man, Morris is making a guess already. We haven't even asked for guesses yet. All right, Fantastic Four #1, really beautiful cover. And as I mentioned, it's, we've got all of our players on the cover. You can see on the right some of the lift and some
light abrasion,
color lift or some abrasion. I think this is a potentially water bath damage.
Yeah, I think it's a somebody did a wash on it.
It looks that way, Larry, but it's not like across the rest of the cover, which makes me wonder. You see it actually looks kind of like a tape lift there.
It's only in the areas where the cover was compromised from the bath. They didn't protect the exposed layer before they cleaned it.
It could be, right?
Yeah.
Maybe.
I mentioned
that's my guess.
I mentioned it's the first appearance of the Mole Man. He's not on the cover. Nevertheless, I think this is a great cover. It's a classic cover. I don't think the CGC label designates it as a classic cover, but it ought to.
Yeah. The first appearance kind of trumps it. You never see a first appearance cover ever.
Also classic cover. Yeah.
Yeah.
The back looks washed out well.
Nevertheless, it presents pretty well. It wasn't bleached too badly, right?
No.
Yeah, it's still so. When I see these, I'm like, man, I have so many people that send me these Marvel books to give the bath that I give to make it brighter. And it's so, and like when I see one like this, I'm like, oh, this one would just look twice as good if it was clean. But it wasn't done here though. I get it. But it's my bias showing.
That's it.
It's still, this is such a beautiful copy. I mean, you normally see that bottom right corner, there's tons of creases all over that black area. I mean, really the only noticeable defect is that tape pull. I mean, the rest of this thing looks like a 9.0. I mean, I don't know. I don't really see anything wrong with it.
Well, I do think that tape pull is fairly severe, right? And I wonder, and that is why it's basically a perfect book with the tape pull. And that's,
I mean, the 6 is
that's how they landed at 6, honestly. Right? Yeah,
I can see that. I feel like if I sub this, they give me a 5.5, but but hey, I don't know, maybe not.
One thing I wanted to point out here is that when I look at this book, I don't really see cover shrinkage. I mean, maybe the tiniest amount, maybe. But I think the amount that could normally be attributed just to like a little bit of spine roll.
Well, if you look at the back cover right there on that left edge, you can see the pages. Then you go back to the front cover, and you can also see the pages. That tells me there was some horizontal shrinkage, not vertical shrinkage.
Well, yeah, that's how we would expect it in this book would be.
Yeah, and that also leads me to believe that this had a bath.
But there's also.
Can we see
there's also supposed to be Larry, there's supposed to be just a little bit of a V cut, a protruding kind of V.
Yeah.
And when I look at this, when I see the cover shrunk, it's not that you see those pages there and you see the edges of all the pages because each page is just 1/10 of a millimeter wider than the one before. Usually what you see is those pages are all pretty uniform and then you see a gap and then the cover. This one, the cover is just barely smaller. I mean, certainly I have seen books that I know weren't washed that are this bad, is I guess my point. This is not bad shrinkage by any means.
No, not at all.
No?
Are we saying that's the tell that CGC saw is the shrinkage where it was?
I'm wondering. I'm wondering. I'm saying it doesn't look that way to me.
I don't think so because they would have notated it.
Don Carter, thanks for the super chat, my man. Appreciate you.
Larry, what do you mean they would have
sponsors
notated it?
I think they would have put it in the notes, something along the cover shrinkage or something.
Have they ever? I feel like I've never seen that in notes before.
I think I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure. Yeah. I don't know if it was something that I've seen or just had in conversation with Matt Nelson.
Yeah,
I just don't remember.
The other thing that if you're looking for tells for a wash, we noted the black that looks like it's kind of color rub abrasion above the tape pull here. In the red ink of 4, you also see that same kind of effect, right?
Can I see the back cover, the full back cover?
Yeah, the back cover is showing it right there where he's looking for people. That's faded.
I noticed the T in today right away, which I wonder what it looks like beneath that. Like if more of the text is, or you can kind of see some of the people. It's that whole area right there is a little lighter.
Yeah, but it's not the whole. It's not the whole.
It could have been like that before the wash too, just from natural color.
Sometimes books.
Depends. Because people will dry clean before they wash.
Yeah.
I do it the other way. I do a wash and then dry clean.
Yeah.
Just because also a flat surface.
Water is a defect that books sometimes get exposed to, not on purpose, right? It doesn't necessarily mean it was washed. It could have been a drip of water fell there and somebody tried to wipe it up real quick, right?
Can we see the stain that's in the grader's notes in the back cover? Is it apparent anywhere?
I mean, I didn't notice.
Because I would think that would be the number one tell if it's remnants of the stain, and then they're looking at it saying,
I think this
stain, which means it was clean because you can see how it's lightened. And then
the stain I see is in the top left corner. Go back right there, right at the very
just
top.
This little discoloration in the top. Left.
Discoloration.
I see a very slight discoloration. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
That's harsh, man.
Well, I've had some harsh grades.
Yeah, nonetheless, right? Yeah. Okay, so let's see. I asked for guesses, and nobody gave me a guess. I didn't ask for a guess, and Morris jumped in at 14,755. So I'm going to ask people, what are your guesses? Come on. As a reminder, Go Collect calculates the fair market value of Universal as 27,000. Last sale was 25. The range in the trailing 12 months was basically 20 to 40, which is bananas to me for Universal. So based off that, what do you think this one hammered for? Again, low starting bid auction on eBay ending September 30th. Fresh.
I am going to abstain because I actually watched this, so I'm not gonna give a guess.
One abstention. What do you say, Phil? We got some guesses rolling in right now.
I'm gonna go 15.5.
15.5. All right. I'll start reading our guesses. As I mentioned, we have 14,755. Collecting Chaos is at 21K. Don Carter's at 19. You Pluck My Last Nerve is at 18.5. Archivist Adrift is not playing the game well. He's at 18,457.27.
Oh, there's a 25,000.
Ben Stewart is at 19.5. The Professor says 20K. Neurocomics says 17K. Salesboy says 25K. Gorilla Monkey 3K says 17.5. Phil, your guess was again?
15.5.
15.5. All right. Let's see if I can figure this out. This was the only drum roll I could find.
I knew you set that TOS 39 story up as some foreshadowing. I knew you did. You sneaky.
Maybe we should do some of this.
Whoa. Dang.
I didn't have like a.
Someone got a nice copy here.
We'll have to find that one.
What?
I think Probstein needs to go back to auction school and figure out how to market books correctly. I mean, this is shocking. I agree with you, Jason. And you know, last week we featured a book that literally sold for more than Universal.
Yeah, that's
market. Right. I thought it was fair to show this one, which is obviously a kind of a auction result for Conserved books. 43%. We've definitely seen worse. Yeah. But this is the worst one we've seen in a while, at less than half of the value of Universal.
You say September 30th is when it sold?
It did. Yeah. And you know what? I didn't look to see if it was a well-publicized auction in terms of, you know,
it was like 2 a.m.
Did it end at 2 a.m.? Was it a one-day auction, right?
Oh yeah, true. All those
that
things.
said, I mean look, Probstein apparently is a professional, right? This is nearly 1.5 million.
Oh, they have a lot of
transactions.
Stuff.
One would think they know how to auction things off, but holy moly!
Well, it depends on who sets up the listing. I mean, you know, it's a Conserved book, and some people, you know, they still have that stigma on Conserved. They treat it like a restored.
Yeah, yeah.
I think the buyers of this are just not a good venue. You know, probably not enough time for the auction too. That is, for what it's worth too, why a lot of auction houses try to give a heads up, like, hey, in a couple months, you know, heads up, this is going to be coming up. So that way $18,000 book for some people. Oh, I got to sell a few things. And
because you need to advertise that it's coming up. And the other thing is you got to weigh the eBay market versus putting a book like this into Heritage, where it's competing with universal labels.
Sure. Some savvy dealer probably picked this up. If I had to
I would say this would probably be a dealer pickup.
Yeah.
The savvy collector, that would also be really cool.
Ben, the answer is they absolutely do not. They can tell you, the estimate on this is $8,000, and if it sells for $800.
Well, it's just like people take their, Heritage offers an advance on your sales, and if your sales don't meet what they advanced to you, guess what happens? You owe them money for selling your book.
Yeah. So it's partially your responsibility to really know, okay, how much am I getting out of this? What did I put in? All the variables and all the risks.
My hope, I would just say this. My hope is, because I think that this was very well bought. I think it's a sad day for the seller. My hope, and obviously Probstein are professionals. Whoever sold this to them, because I don't recognize them as I don't think they're comics exclusively.
No, they're not.
I would hope that whoever sold this to them, bought it way back in the day for not a lot of money, is my hope, and they still did okay on this one, because I'd hate to think that somebody took this big of a bloodbath based on this this posting. But there it is, man. Sometimes you have ones that you're excited to talk about and have great results. Sometimes you have ones you're excited to talk about that actually have awful results.
It also goes to show how crazy objectively, a copy of that book with work went for to a normal person, they'd be like, wait, there's a problem that went for $11,000. And it's like, it is kind of crazy the world that we live in, where that book going for that is kind of a little bit of an upside.
Yeah, but I agree. It's all how you promote it. I would have not gone looking for it. I stumbled across it actually.
Yeah.
And if you were looking for that book, I agree with you. It's how you market it. It's like for me, if I'm going to go offload a bunch of my golden ages, which I'll do at some point, but you'll get an announcement on Instagram or whatever that the sale is coming up on starting on such and such. Yeah. And that's how I do it.
I just add too, if you are going to sell it on eBay, if that was my book, I would have put it in buy it now of $25,000 or make an offer. And then someone makes an offer of $17,500, and hey, that's $6,000 more than what you would have sold at auction. And there's a way bigger risk for the window of 7 days. 7 days for a lot of people. People could be on vacation. They could want the book, but they just bought another book, and 2 weeks from now they're going to look and say, oh, I missed this one because it's only 7 days. But if you do it, buy it now, and it sits there for months, sometimes that's auction houses actually don't like that as a scenario, because you're not going to consign to them. And I like consigning to auction houses, but sometimes if it's your own book, that's the way to go, because you wait for the right buyer to come along, and you're only trying to sell it to one person.
100%. I personally, I would have done just exactly what you're describing here. I probably would have listed it more like 20 and looked for the first 16 to 18, depending on how quickly I needed to sell it. And it might take 6 weeks, it might take a year, but you will sell it. You will sell it if you're asking 20 for that, and you're willing to take 16, 17, 18. And I think that's a fair price for that book. One of the things that we sometimes talk about, but didn't today, although I kind of set the conversation up with the census conversation, is that in the golden age, we will often see higher percentages of the conserved books selling relative to universal. The reason being, the total population might be 50 copies. It might be 100, 200 copies. If you want that book, you buy the conserved copy, or you wait 2 or 3 more years sometimes for another copy. Or more, maybe even longer, right? Yeah. Depending on the book. And so the gap is smaller. this being a book that does have 2,000 copies in the census, you can wait. You could say, well, you know what? I could get a 3.0 or a 4.0 universal for that kind of money. And why bother, right?
Exactly.
I also want to highlight a comment. Welcome to the show, Derek. Looks like here from Larry's channel. Good evening. How do you know what will be collectible in years to come? We don't know, really. I recommend you buy what you like. And
well, I look at it as you got to look at it from what perspective. Are you looking at it as an investment to park your money, or are you looking at it for something that you want? And if you're looking to park your money, I always look at the golden age, because it's a market that it trickles upwards slowly, but it doesn't lose money. You're going to have silver age books, which it's wild. You can watch them go up and down, but golden age, they're steady. If you look on a graph,
they're like bonds.
Yeah. They're like bonds. That's a good way of looking at it. They're like bonds.
Buy and hold.
And here's another comment from Lenny. It could be because the movie wasn't too good. It could be the timing of the movie, even more specifically, right? We talked about this. A lot of people, they buy the book before the movie drops. If you had it in your mind, man, FF1's my Grail, I got to get a copy before the movie, just in case the movie is bananas good and everybody's scrambling for it. The mentality is, I need to get my copy before the movie drops. And then the movie drops, the demand falls, just falls off a cliff sometimes. This has happened many times. And so it could be that the timing of this with coming after the release of the movie was just terrible timing. As I mentioned, trailing sales for that book are between 20 and 40 grand. The last two sales were 25.
Yeah, we talked about that last week. I mean, for me as a seller, I would dump the book a week before movie hits,
or when the trailer hit.
Yeah. Madam Web was a perfect example. You know, I dumped that Amazing Spider-Man as quickly as I could, because I just knew it was going to stink. I made money on 2 copies, and somebody else, didn't.
I think sometime right after the trailer, if you're trying to be scientific about timing it, is probably a good bet for most books. We talked about the Thanos effect being one where that didn't hold true, where it just kept climbing for a decade afterward. But I think Thanos is the exception, not the rule. So there it is. Lively discussion. I hope everybody enjoyed that. I had fun putting it together. I talked a lot, but I guess that's why you're here.
Hey, you put the segment together, so
hey, if you enjoy the show, if you're having a good time, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, subscribe to some of the other channels like Flying L Comics, like the aforementioned Salesboy Comics, the Adrift, the You Pluck My Last Nerves, the Don Carters of the world. Everyone, sub all these guys up. Everybody's out here just working really hard for the love, because nobody's getting rich making videos about comic book conservation. That's for sure. Anyway, with that little public service announcement, Phil, what you got for us, man?
All right. Dun, 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 dun. So I've shown this on Instagram, and I could have sworn I showed it here on a segment, but I couldn't find it in my records. So
yeah, I couldn't remember.
And maybe in a different dimension, perhaps. But
it looks like right up Larry's collecting alley. With the rivet cover Planet Comics.
Rivet book, yes, one of 22.
Oh, hey, so yeah, you just stole that third line there. So Planet 15, indeed. I was thinking of Larry as I was putting this together, because I know you're assembling a run of this title.
I now have 42 of the 73.
Nice.
Ambitious, but clearly you're just checking them off the list.
Well, yeah, the painful ones are going to be these rivet books. I mean, you're just not going to find them for really less than $1,500. And then I've only seen number one come around, and it's priced at $35,000.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's gonna be a while.
Planet One is a true Grail, though.
It is a true Grail.
I mean, that book. That's a special book. So we'll be rooting for you.
The lowest number I had. The lowest one I have in my collection is a number 5. So
wow, that's impressive.
Yeah, these covers have so much going on in them too, and there's so many. Like, I mean, this one here, I mean, just look. It's published in 1941, so this book is 84 years old.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
And the yellow cover, that's a tough one to clean too, because of the yellow.
This was early days, November 41, pre-war.
I took a little screenshot from CGC just to show just how few. We're looking at those Marvel books that had thousands and thousands of copies, including Universal, Qualified, Conserved, and Restored. There's 30
total, 33
total copies.
And Captain,
go out there and find whatever copy you want in any grade, right?
Captain, have you looked at the census counts for all of the issues? Do you know which ones are the choke points?
I have not, but I can see the choke points when they come up for sale.
Yeah,
it's. I am a junkie. I am actually buying repeat copies of what I already have when I see I can get a deal on it, and I'll clean them. And then I'll put them out. In fact, I'm getting ready to list a couple of Planet comic books that I have worked on, but I have a higher grade in the collection. I just don't need them.
Sure. Yeah, I do.
Rather pass it on to somebody who could use it.
Yeah. I'm just gonna. And I think I had one other comment here, Phil, on the 28 Universal here. This is before you sub this book. After you sub this
book came to me raw, and left my hands raw.
Okay,
so
you're not sure.
Unconventional. Yeah, so I actually to this day don't think this book's been subbed. It may have been, but I believe it's still raw.
No, Phil, is this the book that we saw at the Collector Summit last year?
Correct.
You delivered it. Yeah, I thought I recognized it. Yeah.
And go ahead.
I was just gonna say, if you're on Instagram, there's a little write-up and description, and the photos that you'll see here in the slide that I show are similar to the Instagram post. So if it's handy and you really like this book a lot, you want to look at more pictures of it, you can go to my Instagram and scroll down. You'll find this one.
And one of the reasons, we're talking about Planet Comics, and we didn't mention explicitly here, I mentioned that it's a real Grail. This is the first title for sci-fi in comic books, right?
It is.
We had the pulps, and this is the first time that sci-fi was in the format that we call comic books today. So that's why Planet it's the first, it's the biggest, it's the best known, and Planet One is a Grail for, more than just the sort of reasons that are obvious. It's because it's the very first sci-fi title in comic books, period.
Yeah.
It's a big deal. And Phil, you showed us one that you worked on quite some time ago in a previous episode.
I almost actually pulled out might have been issue 10. I've been lucky enough to work on multiple copies of a few different issue numbers, including I've worked on a couple copies of issue 1, a couple issue 2s, and probably 20 other ones that have gone through. So, and I have of all the Golden Age titles, this is one that I've been fortunate enough to see a lot of the copies of. And one thing I can say, because I've seen the interiors and people that collect these and Larry can back this up, and that is, of Golden Age titles, sometimes the art on the inside left a little to be desired compared to the cover that may or
that's
true,
very
well. And really, Planet Comics, the interiors are incredible. It's easily just it's sometimes you'll be flipping through and say, wow, the cover's great, but this interior, the panels are incredible. It's really good stuff.
Yeah. Well, one has that Lou Fine. You have a number of Lou Fine covers, which is, I think,
Oh, you've got some great artists that worked on these
Chef's
books.
Kiss. Yeah. I mean, this hit the news.
Matt Baker.
Yeah, this hit the newsstands, and Planet One hit the newsstands late in 1939. I mean, that's how early it is, right?
Yeah, it's pre-war.
Yeah, that's. Anyway, so I didn't mean to derail your deck here, but for those that don't know,
we're here to talk comics.
Woo-hoo!
Well, Planet Comics also evolved from a pulp magazine.
Yeah.
So, because there was a Planet.
It's the same
Comics
publisher,
pulp.
right? The same publisher.
Same publisher. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so here this is in all its glory, and then like the quick side note is that although it does match kind of well despite a little bit of a roll, this cover was technically married from another copy and taped onto this coverless copy. Mm-hmm. So that said, the conservation, despite this not going to CGC, seemed to just kind of be a natural thing to do anyway.
Sure, yeah. At some point in the future, I mean, these books are valuable enough. Most of them are going to get slabbed before they trade hands. This is just to de-risk for both the seller and the buyer.
Yeah. And there wasn't just tape on the spine. There was some more tape.
More tape on
the inside cover. Oh boy. And you get to see a little bit there in that first splash page. And I have a better picture you'll see later. But man, yeah, we don't like tape. Tape is evil. At least here it was put here to make sure it's not like there was a lot of tears or this was really serving a purpose. Just it's kind of annoying. So for the purposes of removing it, it does make it a little bit easier, but still, tape is evil. Don't ever put tape on your books. It's bad. Because we got to remove it. And man, is it nasty, gunky, crappy stuff. Here's just a couple photos of the process of the removal here. So on the left, you have the cover while it's detached from the interior, flat open, and I've got it wet with solvent as I'm scraping away that gunk adhesive, which on the right you can see I've scraped onto a backer board that I got next to me there.
Wow.
Real fun stuff. Real
nice
stuff.
Yeah, tape removal it's not quick. It's very time consuming to do it without risking damaging the book. I've been doing quite a bit of it lately, and it's just it's like if you watch my videos, I always put it 20 times speed if I'm showing the tape removal, because it literally takes a long time to do.
On the left side too here, it's a little bit misleading. It looks almost like a lot of the color on the yellow is gone, but it's really just that's your
lighting.
It's due to the solvent, really. So you'll see in the after how actually crisp and clean that comes out. So at least on the inside, these two are different. And if you look, you can see why. On the left photo, you can see how the spine was split from at least the center all the way up, and then there was a little bit more splitting near the bottom staple. It was about 80% split.
Wow.
And then on the top edge there, you can see on the before, that whole piece on the top edge corner had kind of become detached to remove the tape, and then on the right, I reattached it there. So there was an intention just to kind of do a minimal conservation treatment here. No washing, deacidifying, or leaf casting. Just conserve and repair what's there to get the book back together so it can be read. So on the right, you can see how the spine split and resealed.
Yeah,
and the staples have been reinforced.
Do you want to talk about the paper quality here and about Fiction House? And you've handled a lot of these books. How does this paper compare, for example, to Timely's or to National's output at the time?
Yeah. I mean,
yeah. Go ahead.
One of the most notorious titles I think of when I think of books that can look perfect structurally or beautiful, but if you just open up the spine, you'll just split the spine, is Wonderworld Comics, one of the Fox titles. And it's just, for whatever reason, that cover stock is just so unforgiving. It's so unforgiving. It's a bummer, but it just is what it is. In my experience, at least with the fiction house here, they're not bad, really. I mean, I don't really have as many issues with them as I do maybe like some timelies where you have to worry more about some color loss. Those can be kind of a little more fickle. But I personally I've never really had too many issues with Fiction House books.
Yeah. Fiction House is in that camp with the Nationals and the output from Fawcett. It's really, and I haven't, is that true? I guess I've dealt with a few Fox books, but the early Blue Beetle and that sort of stuff, all the Fox stuff, rough, difficult books to conserve.
I
careful. Approve or approach with caution for sure.
Yeah, those early, the ones I just have just a horrid time with are like the early Captain Marvel books.
Oh, really? The early Fawcett stuff.
The Fawcett stuff, and they shed ink like crazy.
I could see that.
The Fiction House books. I've worked on a lot of these planets now, and I actually find them to be fairly easy to work on.
They hold up really well.
They hold up really well. And once you deacidify the interior pages, they are so bright and the colors just pop, and they really come out great.
Yeah.
I think really the biggest thing Fiction House books are known for is to have a little bit of a range in terms of production inks. So you'll see.
Yes.
Like people almost will go more after color strike than they will after technical grade on Fiction House books, because there's some books where it's like, wow, the reds look orange, and then on other copies, so people really view that more favorably, or something.
Yeah, you'd see some that look like two different covers. So they're the same thing because the colors are so off. But you get like some of the jumbo comics, which are still Fiction House, and then you get some of the artists, LB Cole, things like that, where they focus completely on colors. And some of these books are just amazing once they're cleaned up. It's just it's like restoring an antique car. I mean, it's just beautiful when it's done.
Anybody know the colorist for the Wolverine limited series?
As long as you don't laminate the card.
When you laminate it,
don't laminate it.
The color fades quite a bit when laminated, it turns out. I saw it. I actually, long-time viewers of the channel know this story, Kevin. I outed you.
He outed you. I'm sorry. I just sold my my Wolverine 1 limited series. I picked it up when I was in Hawaii. I bought all 4 books.
I remember that.
I bought all 4 books for $250, and I did the pressing on them. I got a 9.6 on the number 1, and then I sent it in and had it signed. Oh, nice. And then I just came back and I just had a gentleman buy it for $750.
Who signed it?
So, it was Frank Miller.
Miller.
Yeah, it was a Frank.
Did Joe Rubinstein ink that? If I remember,
I don't know, but there's
several people
Frank
that
Miller do it.
Could have signed it. Yeah. Kevin did reacquire those books. He sent them to me for a clean and press, and I sent them off for slabbing. So he's doing all right, you guys. Don't worry about him. I'm sure he would take the GoFundMe, though. You plucked my last nerve. Go ahead, Phil. There was just too much chatter for us to ignore that.
Oh, no, it's okay. All right. Cutting to it. Once all the tape's gone. So, it looked real gross up there with the yellow when I was removing the tape. Man, doesn't that look pretty sweet now? All that tape's gone.
Oh, that's great.
Hey.
It does look amazing, bro.
Not a lot of
and now it's preserved.
See, this is where my deja vu comes in, where I swear maybe there is a segment where we go back and someone's like, Phil, you dummy, the 20-second show you showed this book, and I'm like, man, I totally missed it, because I swear you mentioned how her legs look noticeably cleaner.
Her legs look Like
that was in the dry cleaning, and that was one of the things where it can easily be like, I don't do a lot of photos using, showing the before and after my dry cleaning and stuff like that. But that's one of those things that can make
beautiful
a big
book. But maybe I remember it from seeing it in person though, Phil. Or
that's how I remember it. I saw it in person.
Yeah, it's possible.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Yeah. Everything's looking much brighter.
Yeah, I remember when you gave it to the owner, he was quite happy with it.
And then we got the back cover, everything matches up much more flush. I remember we had the conversation before I removed all the tape. We thought that the cover would have a lot of overhang, just looking at that front scan there. But once I kind of reversed the spine roll on the interior and the cover here, it really seemed to line up fairly well. I mean, well enough.
You couldn't convince the owner to leave this penciled date on the upper right of the back cover?
I was just taken off. I think sometimes the placement can be a suggestion more if it's more obviously on the front. There it was more maybe not necessarily done by distributor, maybe it was someone else. Even though it does, to your point, look more. I mean, what would that be? Was that a 9.9? And this would have been on stands probably in September if it has a cover date of November.
Yeah,
that is a good point. Hey, that's also I have an AF-15 on my desk right now that I need to dry clean, and it's got a 6-24 or something on it, and it's one of those things where I have at the suggestion of the client kept or removed that. And it's gone. It's never one way or the other.
Yeah. I mean, you work for somebody. You need to do it how they want.
Sometimes the aesthetics.
I'm sure you would have suggested that they leave this, but at the end of the day, it's the owner of the book who makes that decision.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think that's
beautiful.
Oh, hey, we're gonna end there. And on that lovely splash. Sorry for the little bit of incident lighting. The ink color actually at the top there is very bright. That's just glare from the light. So. But what a cool splash.
What a stunner.
Sweet book. And I always love seeing it's such a satisfying thing when you get the book back together, you pull it out of the press.
It is.
You see how tight the staples are at the cover, and you're like, yes, that's right, book. You're back together and stronger than you were before. That's my nerd spirit. Hey, on that note, I hope you guys like that book. I hope maybe at least
it's great.
I watch this is like, hey, Planet Comics, maybe I should go on eBay and look to see if there's an affordable copy of any book from the title I can get. And you know what? There probably is.
Just check with Larry so you're not competing with him. I'm going to give you another round of applause for that one because it's just beautiful. And what is that? That's the Mars first appearance. Does that predate Mars's first appearance in All-Star 8 and the first appearance of Wonder Woman? It could be like around this pretty similar time, right? I have to double check that. Let's see. I don't think Mars was like a protectable intellectual property, though. I think it was already in the public domain in 41. Anyway, that's our show, folks. I hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I had fun.
Yeah.
It's always fun.
Yeah.
That FF1 makes me want to be a little more observant and be looking at books because, hey, someone got that copy and they could just put it up for a buy it now, and they're going to make at least a couple $1,000s minimum. And like that, you got the money to put into it. It's just all you had to do is be there to bid. And it's like, oh man.
Not for nothing, but that Tales of Suspense 39 that sold 1 week ago and 1 week and 30 minutes ago for 15.7.
There's a little meat on the bone there too.
There's opportunity out there, people. There's risk. There's risk. You take some risk. There's some opportunity.
But it sucks when you're on the bubble like that.
Yeah. Well, again, that one, I think I still, I could have chased that a little more. I could have forced the buyer to just pay an honest price for it, maybe even. For me, I just set a number in my head of like, what would be so ridiculous that even my wife wouldn't be upset about me spending money on, and I thought,
justification.
like 15, right? So 15.7, with like, a minute to go.
gotten
And
into
it ended
trouble
up being
with
what
that.
it hammered at, which, there was
Yeah.
no real action in the last 10 seconds, which you normally expect. See, that was like with a few minutes to go, it was 15-7. And I thought, oh, well, in the last couple seconds is when there's a lot of action. And so, there's no reason to chase this. I might have if I wasn't in the middle of a live show too. But I don't regret it. It is what it is.
You guys see me you see me glance way to the side all the time. I'm watching the auctions.
Well, Larry's not emceeing the show, so he's in a better position to do that than I am.
Yeah, I got my main screen. We're talking about it. I got two screens. I got a screen on either side of me that I keep stuff going.
That's like me during trading hours. I got the main screen and I got Thinkorswim off on the side.
Yeah.
Well, I really had fun, guys. I appreciate both of you. Appreciate our sponsors of this show. Reminder again, they are Collecting Chaos and Salesboy Comics. We got 3 super chats during the show for next week's show. That's Salesboy Comics, You Pluck My Last Nerve, and Don Connor. Thank you so much, everyone. Really appreciate the appreciation. Very seriously. And with that, I think I'll say, everybody have a great week. We're going to sign off, and I'm going to say until next time, take care of one another.
See you later, everybody.